I didn't help anybody bury KJ. I haven't seen KJ in forever. Those are some pretty sick allegations, man.
This is Casie Bock. She's just been told by police that they know she was involved in covering up the murder of Karl KJ Beaman.
Basically, we have some information that there might be somebody buried in there. Okay? Where do you think we would be getting that information?
KJ had been missing for nearly a year, but the police have a lead that will implicate Casie and her ex-boyfriend, Haskell Leroy Crawford.
Right? We've talked to a lot of people that also have knowledge about it. And I can tell you that right now all fingers are pointed at you.
Casie will realize that her attempt to hide an evil murder will only land her in deeper trouble.
When I got home, he was in my apartment, and KJ was already dead.
And along the way, the true, horrifying extent of Leroy's behavior will be revealed.
He just killed his best friend. I was pretty scared. I was scared for my life. And then he's sitting there telling me he's gonna rape me.
What started out as loyalty between brothers was about to become betrayal sealed in concrete. KJ and Leroy had been close friends for nearly 2 decades. According to prosecutors, they saw each other as family, like brothers. But by the spring of 2022, the relationship had started to crack. Leroy had become convinced that KJ was cooperating with law enforcement. He told Casie that KJ was a rat and that it needed to be taken care of. At the time, Leroy was living with his girlfriend, Casie Bock, at her apartment in Aurora. Casie told detectives she had helped bond him out of jail after an arrest for stealing catalytic converters. The relationship was tense. She described it as a very bad relationship, and she had tried to push him away, but he kept showing up. KJ had been involved in some of the same activity. He and Leroy had been arrested together before. After the arrest, Leroy grew paranoid. KJ had a record, and he wasn't innocent. But he wasn't just a suspect either. To the people who actually knew him, his kids, his mother, his friends, he was loyal, funny, and fiercely protective. He made bad choices, but he didn't deserve to disappear without a trace. Casie and Leroy started blaming KJ for everything. That paranoia escalated into threats. Around the same time, KJ stopped returning calls. His mother, Kyla Duberstein, reported him missing. She told investigators she feared something had happened and believed Leroy was involved. It wasn't until nearly a year later that detectives questioned Casie. By then, the police had hardened into suspicion. She admitted she knew KJ was dead, but she hadn't told his family or the police. Casie's loyalty wasn't enough to stop the violence, but it was enough to delay justice for nearly a year. To his family, KJ was a father, a friend, and a son who made people laugh. And now, in this room, she'll have to decide: stay silent or tell them everything.
All right, Casie. Like I said, we can explain to you everything that we have going on, okay? I would ask you, I'd kind of like to open it up to you. Do you think that there might be a reason that you would have some detectives talking to you like this, asking you questions? No? Is there nothing you can think of at all?
I know that my children's father got arrested by Arapahoe County and is getting charged with charges that he did not commit. And I know that I live next door to National Security, and they have been drilling holes in my walls and spying on me. And I know that Aurora is not the kindliest for police brutality, making up stuff. I've been dealing with this for about a year. I'm a Colorado citizen, like born and raised here. This is my first time ever in Aurora, and it has ruined my life.
Okay. Has anyone treated you poorly today?
No.
Okay. Everybody's been respectful.
I've also been respectful and just trying to get over with this.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Well, I'll just start by laying it out like this. We are part of the major crime section. Okay, we handle a whole gamut of crimes to include missing persons cases. There's been some information that we've received, and we have a search warrant for your apartment. We have a search warrant for your kind of part of your building as well. Yeah, I'll kind of start by asking, who do you normally leave your kids with, or who do you?
Nobody. I don't have anybody.
You don't have anybody? Okay, is there somebody that you've left your kids with in the past?
Well, yeah, but
Okay, who is that?
my mother.
Your mom? What about anybody locally or any friends of your
I don't
kids?
have anyone locally. I don't. My children don't have any friends here. I don't have any friends here. I keep to myself.
All right, so there's nobody that your kids stay with every once in a while or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Is there any reason somebody would tell us something like that?
I got a job a few months back. My daughter did have a friend at school, and I knew that she lived in the same apartment complex. So I walked up to this lady and asked if she could help me because I needed a babysitter. We became friends, and somebody broke her window, I'm guessing, here a few days ago, and she thinks it's me.
Okay. Why would she think it was you?
Because I just told her a few days prior, as I seen all these undercovers around, to basically fuck off.
Oh, you told this person to fuck off. Okay.
And I told her to
What's
stay
her
away
name?
from me and my children.
Okay. What's her name?
Sierra.
Okay. So why did you tell Sierra to stay away from you?
Because I caught her in a lie.
And what was that? What was the
Something
lie?
as simple as she wasn't in the back of her car when I seen her in the back of her car. If you're gonna lie about one thing, what are you lying about?
What do you mean by that? She wasn't in the back of her car.
I seen her in the back of her car.
Okay.
And this day there was a bunch of undercovers around outside. Like, I've been going through a lot for a year. Like I said, I'm not naive to what's around me, and I'm not naive to the world trying to set people up either. I'm just trying to keep me and my children safe.
And I understand that might be difficult. The father of your children, who is that? You said he's currently arrested. Can you tell me who that is?
Mr. Crawford.
Okay. And how long has he been in custody?
Almost a year now.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine that's very hard. We're not trying to make light of the situation. We're not trying to insult you. We're just trying to get some background, okay? And I'm just trying to have a conversation with you so I can get an understanding about you, okay? And I promise I'm going to get to the point here, all right? But I'm just trying to get some background information on you, and that way we can have a good conversation about this, all right?
Some background about me. Would you like to know the background
Because I've
about me?
never met you before. That's why. And to have a conversation with you, I mean, I have to ask questions about you. Okay, so let's kind of back up to what's happened with you and Sierra over the past, I don't know, a couple weeks or whatever, when you told her to fuck off. Was there any specific, other than you saw these undercovers, was there any specific incident that made you feel like that, or was it just her being in the back of her car?
No, it was just her lying about being in the back of her car.
Okay. And that upset you because you thought there were police around the
No,
apartment?
there were police around.
Okay.
There was undercovers all over, and I didn't understand. And I don't know why she would lie to me about not being in the back of her vehicle when I, clear as day, was right behind her and seen it.
And why did that worry you?
Because I don't like being lied to, for one.
Okay. I mean, anything else? Did you think she was like working with the police, or did you think,
I mean, kind of. The only reason the girl puts stuff in the back of her car is to move car seats so all 4 children can fit in her vehicle.
when you say all 4 children, you mean
My children
your
and her
kids and her
children.
kids? Okay. How many times did she take your kids? Or
A few different times.
did they stay over there a fair amount?
Sometimes.
Was that when you were working?
I didn't work there long, so.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to shift gears just a little bit.
Casie is in denial mode, but what she doesn't know is that Sierra had already gone to the police. Casie had allegedly confessed everything to her, that KJ was dead, that Leroy had killed him, and that his body was buried under the crawl space of her apartment. Sierra told investigators that Casie got high and told me, naming both herself and Leroy. In a message later shared with detectives, Sierra wrote, "He's buried under Casie Bock's apartment, in the crawl space, under cement. Her and Leroy did it." Sierra said she immediately called the police. She also turned over messages detailing the whole story, including the address, the motive, and the attempt to hide the body. They put him in a very shallow grave and covered him with cement to help mask the smell, she wrote. The tip was enough to open the case, and detectives would soon bring Casie in for questioning, unaware that Sierra had already given them everything they needed.
So, our concern is that it sounds like you may have made some statements about somebody being buried in your apartment. Okay, I'm gonna cut to the chase. Okay, that's why we're here. That's why we ended up having a search warrant for the apartment. We also understand that the circumstances seem a little bit odd, which is why we're trying to be very accommodating to you. We're going to make sure your kids are taken care of, like all those things. You know, we didn't just, SWAT team didn't just blow the house open or anything like that. You know, we understand that it's kind of an odd situation, so that's why we're kind of, going about it the way that we are.
There's statements of what now? Of I've buried?
Not necessarily that you have buried, but we have heard that you made statements that there might be somebody buried in your apartment. More specifically, there's like a crawl space under your apartment.
There is a crawl space. I locked it because I'm terrified of that.
Okay.
There's people who go under there all the time, just messing with me and my kids.
Okay.
It's kind of scary.
Okay.
A backstory on me is in Arvada, I had doors kicked in my faces. I was almost killed by a Banditos biker.
I'm sorry.
That's why the arrest warrants, those all happened in this same time of my life. Okay, I'm running. I ran to Aurora so nobody would find me as this man's about to get back out of prison.
Is that Mr. Crawford?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I
You're
didn't.
fine.
I mixed up what we were talking about. That's the person who was in this Bandito. Is that correct? Oh, okay.
It was,
Okay. Well, let's talk about the crawl space a little bit, okay? Because specifically, that's what's come up. You said you put a lock on it.
Yeah.
When did you put a lock on it?
Months back.
Okay. Do you know how specific? I mean, I know that it's kind of hard to say whether it was
No.
December or whatever, but
I think it was 2 months after I moved here.
When did you move?
I moved here in February
February of which year?
last year.
Okay, so not 2 months ago.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you lived here, who was staying with you?
Just me
Just you?
and the kids.
Okay. You called him Mr. Crawford, and I understand, does he go by Leroy?
No.
Okay, did Leroy stay there?
No.
Never?
No.
Okay. Did you ever have anyone else who stayed there? Just, and I don't mean necessarily living, but maybe coming and going.
No. Like I said, I've been trying to stay low key.
Okay. Just for my clarification, can I show you a couple pictures and you can just tell me that I'm talking about the right people?
Sure.
Okay. Well, since we talked about,
Sierra.
okay.
Leroy.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I'm on the right track, all right, that we're not mixing up people or anything. Obviously, you and Leroy have documented history together, so, I mean, that was pretty apparent, and I just want to make sure that we're not just completely off base and talking to the wrong person, okay?
Leroy kept showing up, and Casie couldn't seem to shake him. Even after they broke up, he was always around, crashing at her apartment, ignoring every boundary she tried to set. She told detectives she started sleeping with a knife because she didn't feel safe. And it was only the beginning. Later on, she'll describe things no one was prepared to hear, things that would reframe her silence and her fear, and show the horrifying grip Leroy had on her life. Her fear was growing, and her sense of control was unraveling. The detectives will continue to press her about the padlock on the crawlspace door, because that lock wasn't just to secure a space. It was a line between what she knew and what she couldn't face.
When you put this lock on your crawl space, why, you said that there were things that made you afraid. Why specifically put a lock on it? And how do you access that?
How do I access?
Yeah, we haven't been into your apartment, so we don't know what it looks like. How do you actually access that crawl space?
There's a cutout in my closet.
Okay. The closet of your bedroom?
Yeah.
Okay. And was that always like that? Was it?
Yeah.
Because again, I have not been in your apartment.
I
so.
put padlocks on it.
Okay.
There was certain situations of people standing right next to the crawl space entrance from the outside of the house.
You mean the entrances that are on the outside of the building?
Yeah.
Because you can access it from the outside, right? Like,
Yeah.
Can you describe that for me?
Well, it wasn't locked. The public had access to it, and then my house is the first house, and then boom, there's this door that's unlocked, and that's my house. So I'm saying is the public could get into the crawl space and get into my house that I knew of.
So I could,
scary.
from the outside, get
Yeah.
into the crawl space and
Like
come
that.
into your
Yeah.
room.
So
Yeah,
I
that,
put
seems,
padlocks on
that
it.
seems very unsafe to me.
Yeah.
So just getting further into our search warrant, and I know I keep kind of edging towards this. Basically, we have some information that there might be somebody buried in there. Okay. Where do you think we would be getting that information?
I'm guessing a female who thinks I also broke her windows, or the NSA across the street, or the girl upstairs who's drilling holes down and spying on me and my children and taking every single constitutional right away from me.
Okay. Well, why would they say that?
Dude, why do people do a lot of things they do?
If I had an answer to that question, I'd probably be a rich person, right?
I don't know why they're doing this. Most females don't like me because I'm prettier than them. So maybe one of her nigger boyfriends liked me and she didn't like that.
Well, in that case, we'll just cut to the chase. Like we're gonna go into the crawl space. Are we gonna find anything in there?
Not for me, no.
Okay, you say not from you. Will we find it from anybody else?
I've never been inside the crawl space. I have no association with the crawl space besides that there was two men standing right next to the entrance of the outside. And the entrance to my house is boom, right there too. I locked the crawl space because I was scared. Okay, like I said, when I moved here, I had banditos looking for me. I've had all sorts of people that have made me scared. I'm not just gonna sit there and that's why I moved to Aurora. Like I said, I'm trying to stay low. I didn't let anybody know where I lived.
Okay. How about this? Can I show you another picture, and maybe you can tell me if you know this person?
Sure.
Okay.
It's KJ.
KJ. Okay. Do you know his? I recognize the name KJ. Do you know what his first name actually is?
Karl.
Karl. Do you know his last name?
Beaman.
Okay. How do you know KJ?
Me and Leroy used to stay with him a few years back when we were homeless.
Okay.
Him and Leroy were best friends.
They were best friends?
No, they are best friends.
When was the last time you saw KJ?
I don't know.
Talking about someone in the past tense can be a window into what you really know. Detectives are trained to spot it. Casie says Leroy and KJ were best friends, then quickly corrects herself. Crawford does the same when shown a photo of KJ.
KJ? Who is KJ to you?
Yeah, he was one of my friends. I haven't seen him for about a year.
Okay. Okay.
Leroy was already in jail, serving time for stealing catalytic converters when detectives came to question him. However, the moment detectives tell him he's the prime suspect, he shuts down and refuses to talk. The interview ended almost as soon as it started, leaving Casie as the police's best chance to find out what really happened.
Well, and again, I hate to just beat around the bush. I was hoping that, we could kind of talk about this a little bit more, but our concern is that KJ may have been killed and that Leroy might have either have had something to do with it, might know something about it, something along those lines.
So it sounds like Arapahoe's trying to pin more murder charges on my children's father.
No, it doesn't have
for his best friend.
It's Jefferson County, and this has nothing to do with Jefferson County.
Jefferson County isn't pressing the charges of the murder of the man who's still alive that Leroy supposedly shot.
The attempted murder. Yeah. It's Jefferson County that has the case. But I spoke with the detective today. But that being said, they don't have anything to do with this, okay? And we are merely just we are doing our very best to, if Karl's still alive, we would like to know where he is. If he's not, we would also like to know where he is. From what we've heard, there's a chance, and it's clear what I'm asking here. We're talking about your crawl space. We had information that he might be in the crawl space.
So the people who here recently have been under my crawl space and been playing frequencies that me and my children have heard and scaring the living daylights out of us, like, is anyone going to look at that then?
Well, as I mentioned, we have a search warrant, and we are going to look under there, okay? Right now, what we're doing is we're trying to make sure your dogs are okay, and we're trying to make sure your kids are okay, all right? So that's kind of our primary focus before we start digging around in there. But I'm talking to you because that could assist us, and that could preempt a lot of the I don't want to say destruction, but invasive work that we would have to do to go look at the crawl space. So these are obviously pretty specific allegations. We didn't just make this up, okay? And that's why I'm being straight with you. I'm showing you these pictures. I'm asking you all this information directly, okay? When we open the crawl space up, what are we going to find in there?
I don't know. I've never been under there.
Okay. Do you know if Leroy ever went under there? Would anyone else, would KJ have had a reason to be under there?
I don't even think KJ knew where I lived.
Okay. I guess I would ask then, and I don't have the direct information what the child said, but they obviously said they were missing Uncle Karl, which you mentioned. Would that have been at a time before you lived in the apartment that they were used to seeing him around, or?
No, it's not. It's never been a frequent thing that KJ's been around.
And I understand young kids. Sometimes kids say.
He's just an awesome person, dude. Even my children remember him for quite a few different reasons.
Okay. So would you call your relationship with between you guys close? Obviously close enough that your kids like him.
I guess, yeah.
Okay. And it's not strange to you that he's just vanished, gone off the face of the earth?
I didn't know he was gone off the face of the earth. I don't keep track of my children's father's people.
Okay, well, you just said you hadn't seen him for this amount of time.
He's not my friend. He's not my friend.
But he's, as I mentioned before, he's close enough that your kids call him Uncle KJ.
Because he's my children's father's best friend.
Okay, I understand that. I'm just trying to connect.
I don't have friends in my life, so that means my children don't have people in theirs. So when a big fat man comes around and makes my children laugh, and dad's laughing with them, and they talk about and reminisce about times from 20 years back, of course my children are going to remember that.
So they see dad happy, and they see Uncle KJ happy, and they
Yeah,
like
people don't visit us at our home. People have never visited us, so the very few people that have, my children remember.
So he did visit you at your home.
But now we're talking about 2020, dude. Like,
Okay, we keep going backwards. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
that's
I can't keep
my
those years straight.
children haven't seen him in a while.
Casie's story begins to unravel. First, she says KJ never knew where she lived. Then just minutes later, she recalls him visiting with Leroy, laughing with the kids, and being remembered as Uncle KJ. She insists people never visited her home, then admits KJ had. She blames the confusion on the passage of time, but the detectives aren't buying it.
Casie, we have good reason to believe that Karl's dead and that you had a hand in burying him under your apartment.
You guys know how big this thing is, right?
You didn't do it alone, though. We have reason to believe you and Leroy took care of him after Leroy killed him in your apartment, and that you helped Leroy bury him beneath that crawl space.
Those are some pretty sick allegations, man.
Tell me about it. We have very good reason to believe that. Like Detective Chamberlain said, we've got a search warrant. We're going to go in there and we're going to be finding out the truth.
The truth.
If Karl's in there,
My children's father is looking at homicide for a man that's alive. And Sierra helped me look at the papers. And it looks like when Leroy was sitting in this jail, when I couldn't find him anywhere, that Aurora did some pretty sketchy stuff. Because nothing on that case looks right. And now I'm hearing this.
I don't know anything about that case, Casie.
I know, but like I do, and it's just
what
kind
we're
of
here
scary
today
that
for
now
has nothing to do with that case.
I know, but
So don't bring it up. Stay focused. Okay?
I didn't help anybody bury KJ. I haven't seen KJ in forever. Leroy hasn't killed anybody at my house. I have children at my house.
Did Leroy kill Karl?
No, why? How long has KJ supposedly been missing?
We're not going to tell you how long he's been missing. You've not asked us really anything about Karl, though.
That's what I'm asking, is how
it's
long you
because
guys...
you already know what's happened to Karl. You know he's dead. Okay? You haven't shown any concern since we started here that you care where Karl is, or do we have information on Karl? This man is like an uncle to your kids.
A man who has seen my children a few times.
You're the one who's described him as an uncle to your kids that makes them laugh. Okay?
I'm done talking.
He's like family.
I'm done talking. I was never allowed friends because of the relationship I was in. I'm done talking.
Well, that's fine for right now, and we're gonna go ahead and go forward with our search warrant. All right? That being said, and you don't have to answer this at all, okay? You told Sierra that Leroy killed Karl, and that he was buried under your apartment. Plain and simple. That's why we're here. Okay?
I told her this.
That's why we're here. Okay? And again, you don't have to say anything. All right? But that has been what has led us to this point. And every time we bring up the fact that he has been murdered and he is under your apartment, you get emotional. All right? You have an emotional response to that.
I'm sorry, I got emotional when I see my children's father's picture. That's emotional.
All right. Again, you don't have. We're gonna take a little break here. Okay.
A break. I'm done talking.
That's fine.
I'm done talking.
Okay, that's okay. And we're just gonna step out then. All right.
The contradictions are stacking up, and now, with a warrant in hand, they're about to search the crawl space beneath her apartment. the very place they've been told Karl Beaman might be buried. The detectives leave the room, and she's left to deal with another officer who takes an inventory of her possessions, because she will be going to jail, not for the murder of Karl Beaman, but for 3 outstanding warrants for minor violations. When the detectives come back into the room, they bring with them some bad news.
Concerns there, okay? Again, as we mentioned, you just have this traffic warrant that will get you processed, and hopefully that'll be that, okay? Now, what I can tell you is we did make it into the crawl space, and we found more or less what we thought we would find. Okay? And I understand you were a little upset with some of the things we were saying. But we would like to come back and speak to you and just not be confrontational, nothing like that. We just want to talk to you, okay? But as I mentioned, our other detectives were over there, and they did go into the crawl space we were talking about, and
You found a dead body on the floor?
well, that appears to be what we found.
Okay.
Okay.
Now what?
Well, that's kind of up to you. That's why we're coming here to talk to you. And we're kind of to that point where obviously we're going to have an ongoing investigation, right? There's a lot of work for us to do. But now is your time. Okay? Now is your time
I don't.
to say your piece.
My piece?
To try to give us, because you're not going to have, it would be unlikely that you're going to have another opportunity to give us your side of the story.
I don't even know anything about this.
Okay?
How would I have to say my piece with what?
Well, let me just, if you don't mind me explaining this to you, can I just sort of lay it out for you?
Please.
So, and just to show you, you talked about people making things up and things being contrived and stuff like that. Well, here's the thing. We got all this information, enough to the point where a judge felt like we had grounds to write a search warrant for this crawl space. And lo and behold, we go in there and we find exactly what we were talking about.
And
Those are a lot of coincidences. And all this information, everything that we have, came from your statements. Okay?
excuse me?
It all came from your statements that were made. That's how we got all of this. Okay?
What statements were those?
You told somebody that TJ was buried in your crawl space. We didn't make this up.
I did not.
Well, we were told that.
Okay.
We were told that, and
You know what,
don't
man?
you think it? Hey, how about this? How about this? I'm just trying to explain to you how we got to where we got, and now we are where we feel like that we have located exactly what it was that we were questioning about. Would you like me to prove it to you?
No, I don't. I'm good. Dude, I don't know what the hell is going on. I know I've been being followed for a year, and some pretty weird stuff has been happening left and right around me. And,
And Casie, here's the deal. We're trying to be very respectful to you because we don't think that you're the primary person involved in this. We don't. That's why we're being, for lack of a better term, we're being soft. Okay? Because we don't think that you are the person who created this whole mess. Okay? But we do think you know about it. And we do think that maybe you were somehow involved in getting this under here. So this is your opportunity to decide where we're going to go with this.
I don't know anything about this.
Okay? Well, that's the problem. You can't sit and tell me that you don't know anything about it when the whole way we got here was by you telling somebody that this is what happened.
I never said anything to anybody about what you were saying I did.
So, by your assertion, somebody made up that you said that this person that you know as Uncle Karl was now buried under your crawl space and we just go happen to find under that crawl space somebody who I am guessing is going to be Uncle Karl. That's all made up.
I mean, I didn't say that.
That's what you just told me. You just told me all that is made up.
No, yeah, all of that is made up because I didn't say that to anybody.
Well, that's not made up.
What the hell is that?
You tell me. It's under your house.
That looks like 2 pieces of wood, dude. Like,
You're right. That you are absolutely
know
right.
what's
This
going
looks like
on.
2 pieces of wood. What is this?
Do I look like I'm a criminal?
Did we say that?
No,
We didn't say that, did we?
I'm not
We never-
saying you said
We
that.
never accused you of being a criminal. We haven't made any comments.
I would
on-
like my
on
lawyer
you.
then.
That's fine. So I'm going to say my piece. You please don't say anything because you asked for a lawyer. We're going to get you booked down in our detention center. Okay?
Am I getting...
It's for your traffic warrants right now. All right? That being said, this investigation is going to continue. Okay?
That would be nice.
Later in the evening, Casie was taken to jail for her outstanding warrants, and now her position has changed dramatically. She's ready to talk, and the detectives are ready to listen.
Okay, Casie, well, I'm sorry, Casie, I keep doing that. You reached out to us, all right, through your boyfriend, and you stated that you would like to speak to us. So what can we do for you? How can we help you? Or what can we do to say?
No, you probably can't help me. I just know that I don't want these charges placed on me because I did not do this.
Okay. That's fair. Does that mean
Did you look at my past by any chance?
I mean, we've looked
Around the time?
We've looked at your criminal history.
Okay, did you get to see the pictures of what my face used to look like?
I mean, I've seen previous photos of you.
Of the black eye I had?
What are we getting at here?
What I'm getting at is, Leroy had me in a very bad relationship with him.
Okay. We understand that there were numerous domestic violence incidents. We definitely understand
Okay,
that.
I brought Leroy back around. I don't know why, because I thought, I don't know, to try our family again. Which didn't work and good.
So when you say you brought him back around, what do you mean?
I brought him to my new house shortly after I moved in.
Okay. Is that on 2nd there, where we were today?
Yes.
Okay.
There was one night he was talking about him and KJ were having problems, and that he thought KJ was a rat. It was working with the fucking cops, and that it needed to be taken care of.
Okay.
And the next thing I knew, I was coming home from work. And when I got home, he was in my apartment. And KJ was already dead. In my bedroom. And he forced me to help him move KJ.
I'm sure this is very difficult for you.
No, I don't.
Do you know what had happened?
No. I know I seen a bag over KJ's head.
You saw what?
A bag.
A bag.
What kind of bag?
I don't know. It's just a bag. It's the white bags.
Like a white plastic sack.
Yeah. I don't know, like a white Walmart bag, dude.
Like a grocery type bag? Okay.
You know,
It's okay, take a little time.
I don't know, dude. I never thought that this would be my life. I never thought that anything that has unfolded in my life would be my life. But it is. And it's all from a man that I just should have stayed far, far away from.
Are we talking about Leroy?
Yeah. Dude. I didn't understand. I told him I didn't want that he needed to do something else with this. That this was my home and mine and the children's home. That I didn't want. No, we're not doing that.
We're not doing what?
Because he told me, he's like, you're gonna help me put him down below. And I was like, no. I was like, no, dude. So it was the dumbest idea he ever had on top of just killing him.
Did he say how it happened?
No.
She's trying to confess, but she's also trying to control the narrative. Casie starts by denying any involvement, positioning herself as a survivor of past abuse, then pivots fast, shifting into a new account of what happened. She claims KJ was already dead when she got home, that Leroy forced her to move the body, and that she refused to help with the crawlspace cover-up. Then the conversation spirals. Paranoia, spiritual attacks, and surveillance bleed into her version of events, setting the stage for what comes next.
I don't even know what month it was, man. Literally, I do live next to national security. There are holes being drilled through my wall.
Okay.
On top of this, there's been other deaths that have happened in that house that I was not aware of. Like, I've been spiritually attacked for months. I sit there over the past year, and KJ's never been someone who's constantly been in my children's life, but my children bring him up, my children talk about him.
Well, so let's, and I hate to kind of come back to something really traumatic, but let's talk about, you say Leroy made you help move KJ
He
down
said
under
he
there.
couldn't move him by himself.
Okay,
I told him I didn't want to.
okay.
I tried to leave, he grabbed my arm.
So did you guys pick him up and put him down there?
He forced me to fucking drag him.
Drag him? Was there blood anywhere?
No, I didn't see any blood anywhere.
Do you see any weapons? Like anything at all? From knives to baseball bats or
I
anything?
mean, I have weapons all over my house.
Did any of them appear to have been used?
No.
Not even a blunt object? Like a battery?
No.
So this bag that's around his head, was it completely covering his head? Like tied off around the neck or anything?
Yeah. It was just... there was that.
Where were you working when this, you said you'd come home from work, so where were you working at that time?
Our family tree service. I managed. I worked there for almost 4 years.
Okay. How did the cement and all that stuff get down there? I know we showed you the photograph. How did all that end up down there?
Because he thought it would be smart to cover him in cement.
Leroy did?
Yeah.
And how long did that take? Did he go and do that night? Or that day? Did he do it over the course of a few days?
I think he did it the next day.
Okay. Do you know where he got the supplies?
No.
Did he dig a hole? Did he?
He told me he dug a hole.
Okay. And then what?
No, I told him I refused to go back down there. this was his mess and I didn't want to have anything else to do with it.
So did you ever go into, after dragging KJ into the crawl space, did you ever go down there?
I had to help move him.
Hey, Casie, look at me a second, okay? I know this is really hard. This is not easy, I know it. So take a breath, compose yourself the best you can, and just try to walk us through the whole event. From you coming home and finding what you found to...
Is this gonna help me any?
Will you
That's...
let me tell you this. You've made the decision to give us your side of the story. Okay? And that's a decision that you made, and you've already started down that route.
Yeah.
And I think what you've explained to us for a reason. Okay?
Because I don't...
You feel like it's not your fault what happened, right?
It's not my fault.
Well, then that's why I want you to explain in as much detail as possible what happened. If you feel it's not your fault what happened, that's what you're explaining to us, is what it sounds like to me.
That doesn't sound... That still sounds pretty...
Well, we will be 100% frank with you. The charge that we are charging tonight is not going to go away, okay? That being said, it is so important for us to have your side of the story because we will get a greater understanding of what actually happened and how involved you actually were. This is obviously a very serious situation.
I didn't want a role in it.
I know, but you ended up in it.
Yeah, because the man told me he'd hurt me if I didn't help him.
Okay, and this is what we're getting at, is these details are important. To know how you ended up in this awful situation that was not your doing.
Months prior, dude, like, Leroy put his hands on me. That's why we got in all of this. Was because he got back on drugs. And he hit me and he fucked my eye all up. And I was scared. Dude.
We believe that you were scared. We do. We believe you. We're not saying that you shouldn't have been scared. We absolutely understand. Did he make any statements to you, threats to you, anything like that when this was?
He hurt me if I didn't help him.
Okay. Was any of that ever sent through a phone call, phone conversations, anything like that? Okay.
Anybody over here that accused you?
No.
Detectives press her about phone calls and messages because any recorded threats from Leroy would help corroborate her claim that she acted under duress. Without that proof, it's just her word against the body in her crawl space. They're looking for leverage, something that confirms she was scared, not complicit. But when that doesn't pan out, they pivot. If she can't prove coercion, then the next best thing is clarity.
Can we try our best? I know this is difficult, but let's try to do just a linear timeline of what happened that day, okay? You had mentioned, and I'll help, okay? And if you correct me if anything I'm saying is wrong. You said that Leroy was upset because he thought KJ was snitching or ratting to the police. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Was that before all of this happened?
Yeah.
And you said that he said something like it had to be dealt with. I don't want to be putting words in your mouth, okay? So if I'm wrong, please correct me.
No, that's not at all what I said, man.
Okay, I thought you said something along those lines. Maybe I'm mistaken. So what did he say?
Now I'm just like confusing myself. But I just know I didn't do this.
Okay.
I know that I was scared of a man who had just physically hurt me and had put me through mental and physical abuse for 10 years.
Okay.
When I tried to walk out of my house, he grabbed my arm.
This was the day that this happened?
Yeah, this was when I walked in my house and I seen what was up, which was KJ on my floor dead.
What part of the floor?
It was my bedroom.
Your bedroom. Okay.
You said he was on the bed, right?
No, I didn't say he was on the bed. This is why I'm like, I'm not trying to.
And we're not trying to put words in, just sometimes.
No, but I feel like you guys are trying to confuse me, and
No.
I'm not wanting to be confused. I just want to tell you guys what happened.
Okay.
And then I guess
We're not trying.
go spend more time in prison, jail, whatever it is.
We're not trying to confuse you at all. Sometimes we just get a few things mixed up and we just try to
drag
clarify.
him from where my bathroom-ish area, that's where he was laying. It was like right in front of my bathroom-ish area.
Okay.
Dude, he had a bag over his head. He told me that he was gonna hurt me if I didn't help.
Okay. Now this may seem like a silly.
And I dragged him from that area to the cutout that was in my bathroom or my closet. And then I told him I was done, and he's like, no, you have to help me. I can't move him.
Can you walk us through what happened from thereafter?
Yeah, I helped pull him.
Down into the hole?
No, just over, because he fell. He fell.
Into the hole?
He fell out of the freaking closet, dude. He fell down. There was no hole. He fell. And he made me fucking drag him.
In the dirt?
Whatever that shit was.
No, in the crawl space is what you're talking about, is that right?
So you were actually in the crawl space dragging him.
Was he down in there with you, helping drag him?
Yeah.
Because that had to have been pretty hard.
That's when I told him I was done. I was like, I'm done. Dude, I remember having to crawl over KJ. I just remember not wanting to be there. Not wanting that to be my house.
Did he still have the plastic sack on his head when he was buried?
I don't know.
Do you ever know what
As
happened
soon
to
as
that
you
sack?
I don't know. I don't know what happened with that. I know that the next thing I do, the next day, Leroy came over with cement.
What type of?
I didn't go down there. I didn't want to know.
What type of cement? Was it a? Okay.
Did he have his own tools with him? Like shovel or anything like that to do the mixing?
It's what he did.
Did he do construction?
Yeah.
Okay.
He had his tools from his construction.
Okay.
Did he bring a third party into this?
No.
It was just him.
Do you know if he told anyone about that?
Probably not. As you know, he's sitting there telling me that if I tell anybody, he'd kill me. So.
Did you guys ever speak of it again?
The detectives press on, asking her yet more detailed questions. Casie is forced to relive the horror of that night again, recounting in vivid detail the state of KJ's body and what he looked like.
I just wanted to ask a couple more detailed questions, and these might be difficult, okay, and I understand that. But obviously that's going to help us in our investigation. Do you remember what KJ was wearing?
No.
Okay. Again, this might seem like a kind of a difficult question. Was he stiff? Was he still warm? Do you remember those things?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I remember him being blue.
Blue? His whole body?
His arm is what I'm remembering.
Did you ever start to notice an odor? When people die, they tend to start to smell not the best. So I don't know if you ever noticed that, or did it not come through?
I never noticed anything.
Did any of your neighbors ever mention anything? What did you think happened when you came home and you saw KJ like that?
Did Leroy kill him?
Did Leroy say he did that?
Yeah.
Did he? And I think I might have asked this, but so I apologize if I'm asking it again. But did he ever say how?
I didn't want to know.
What did he say exactly? And when you say he said he killed him, what did he say?
They had to. They did it to protect us.
Did he say what that meant?
No.
Or did you take it to mean?
I don't. What did I take it to mean? Dude, I don't know. I know how screwed up my baby's daddy is. Okay, his father just died in prison because his dad's a murderer. Like, the dude is fucking twisted in the head. I don't want to talk about this anymore right now.
Okay. We can go ahead and stop for right now. I'm sure this is very difficult.
Nearly 4 months later, in July of 2023, Casie's story changed again. She is now interrogated from prison while she's awaiting trial for accessory to murder. With her is her lawyer. With the detective questioning her is the prosecutor. This time, the true horror of what happened that fateful night is revealed. And in the process, so is the true horror of Casie's relationship with Leroy.
So I think you've probably seen me in court before. I'm one of the prosecutors on the case. I know Elsa talked with you kind of like you're here for a proffer. This is the main detective. You've met him before, Jeff. And I'm Lisa. I guess we've never introduced. I'm not supposed to talk to you without your lawyer. So we're going to kind of let you hear what you want to say today. And then, Jeff maybe will have some questions. I mostly won't say too much because I'm not the investigator on the case. Does that all make sense?
Yeah. Well, we're saying initially we just give you another chance to kind of tell us about what happened that day, and then from there we can ask some more questions.
I don't remember why KJ was coming over that evening, but KJ was coming over, and I didn't know he was coming over. All I really remember is that Leroy had a 9mm on him, and that when he seen my cameras that KJ was at my door, he told me that I was going to do what he was telling me to do. I don't remember if it was that day or previous days, but he was talking about KJ was trying to set him up. They were both part of, I don't know, they both got in trouble, but KJ was trying to set him up. So I opened the door, and then the next thing I know, KJ had my 20 gauge in his hand.
Leroy?
Yeah, he Did I say KJ?
You said KJ.
Leroy had my 20 gauge. I don't know, the next thing I remember is KJ with it in my bedroom. And Leroy, to me it felt like it lasted for hours. My kids were sleeping, so it was probably, I don't know, 1 in the morning when KJ got there. I remember Leroy hit him with a hammer at one point in front of my bed. And then he told me to go get a bag. And he said that there was people outside watching the house for him. He ended up trying to use the bag on KJ, and KJ ended up getting out of it. Like I said, this lasted for hours. And the next thing I remember is he told me to go wait in the living room. Where I kind of just sat there. I was kind of scared because he said that there was people outside waiting for me if anything did happen. And then the next thing I know is it was getting time for like my kids to be waking up, and I walked in the bathroom, or in my room, and in the bathroom he was pulling on something. I think it was a wire that was attached to KJ's neck. He told me that he was going to hurt me if I didn't help him after it was done. And I don't know, I had to help him slide the body out of the bathroom. He forced me to clean up all of the fucking blood. And then I sat with that like that for probably 2 days until Leroy came back with cement. And that's when he covered him with cement. And that's pretty much all of it. Not pretty much, that's all of it.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that's probably pretty difficult to go back through all that.
I've been going through it for about 5 months. Longer than that, because I've sat on top of his body for about a year.
Her story has shifted from stumbling upon a body to witnessing a prolonged violent murder. What was once a moment of discovery is now hours of torment, with each new detail more grotesque than the last. The closer she places herself to the violence, the harder it becomes to explain why she didn't run, or scream, or call for help. And the more she remembers, the more she risks becoming part of the crime.
Now, if you don't mind, I obviously have some follow-up questions about some of the things that you said. You said that night KJ was coming over. Did you know he was coming over, or did he... Okay, did Leroy say he was coming over?
I don't think either of us knew that he was coming over.
Okay. Do you know how he got there?
I think from my Uber.
Okay.
I don't know. I doubt that there wasn't a car there.
Okay. Had he been driving a car or anything like that? I mean, I know
They both
a long time
stole
ago we
vehicles.
discussed it, but...
So they both stole vehicles, that's what they did. Neither of them had vehicles.
Okay. You said when KJ got there, Leroy saw him through cameras?
Yeah, I had cameras all around my house.
Okay. Is that like a web-based camera or like a recording camera? Or how did that work?
I had a Genie. So,
Was that the brand?
yeah.
So when Leroy saw that KJ was knocking at the door, what was his reaction?
He grabbed his pistol.
Okay, and is that the, you said the 9mm, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those, The 9mm you guys took from me, I got that like a month before you guys arrested
Right,
me.
no, I know.
So, he had his own 9mm. And he pointed it at me and he said I was gonna do what he said.
So Leroy pointed a gun at you,
Yeah.
the 9mm,
Yeah.
and said, "You're gonna do what he
So you
says."
gotta answer this door.
So you answered the door for KJ.
Yeah, he told me to bring KJ inside.
Okay. Was Leroy hiding? Was he in the back? Was he?
No, he was hiding around the corner because they entered through my back door.
Okay, so because I've been in your apartment, there's the front
clean
door.
paper.
Yeah, no one ever came to my front door.
No one ever came to the front door, okay.
So it was the back door and it was.
I just wanted her, if she could maybe draw, like, we've been in her
Okay.
apartment, but I just kind of want to know, like, what you mean, like, where he came in. Like, if you could kind of draw, like, if you're looking down on the ceiling, like, what it would have looked like as far as where he came in, where he was hiding.
Back door. Here's my wall, here's my kids' room. Here's the hallway, which led to my room. He was right here. This is my front door.
Okay. And this is like where the couch and everything was?
Yep,
Okay.
couch. Fireplace.
Okay, understood. So Leroy's hiding here. Alright, and then KJ comes in this sliding door here.
Yeah, and he told me to let him in and to lock the door behind him.
Okay. And then what?
And then I brought KJ in, I'm pretty sure. I was like, hey, do you want to smoke? And that's when I walked past Leroy and Leroy had my 20 gauge in his hand.
Okay, so now at this point he doesn't have
He didn't have the
the 9mm anymore, he's got a 20
he had
gauge
my
shotgun.
Yeah.
And remind me, but that was also in the apartment, was it not?
Yes, that was mine.
Okay.
That's the one you guys have.
Yes, okay.
And he brought KJ back, he told him not to do anything stupid, and told him to get on his hands and knees.
So he's pointing the gun at KJ. Okay, and what is KJ doing when he's doing that?
Kind of standing there, I remember his look was of anger. And Leroy walked around and got behind him in the living room and told him to go back in the bedroom.
And is that your bedroom, the one that's all the way at the end of the hall? Okay. Okay. And I know this is probably really hard, okay, but after they went into the back bedroom, then what?
So I said he pretty much just tormented him for hours.
Okay. Did you see any of that?
I seen him hit him with a hammer.
Where did he hit him?
I don't know. I don't remember exactly. I don't know. I know that there was music playing.
Loud music or?
Yeah, loud music playing.
Do you remember a song, like a specific band or a song or anything?
No, it wasn't anything of mine. I remember at one point Leroy was telling him, because they were best friends, the song was saying, I remember Leroy being like, oh, see, you're supposed to be my friend, or something, I don't know, I don't remember the song. I don't remember a lot that happened within those hours. I remember he hit him with a hammer.
Do you know, was that hammer still in the apartment when you searched it?
If I'm correct, it was on the back porch.
Okay.
It was a sledgehammer.
Oh, a sledgehammer, not like a.
No, it was like a mallet or.
More horrifying information will follow, and now the full picture unfolds in front of us, and the true monstrosity of Leroy Crawford is revealed, both in how he murdered his best friend and of his relationship with Casie.
Did Leroy come and go out of the room, or was he back there the entire
I
time?
was back there the whole time.
Okay, I'll ask first, did you ever hear any gunshots?
No.
Okay, did you ever... So when Leroy takes KJ back to the back room with the shotgun, did he have the hammer too?
No, I'm pretty sure the hammer was in with his tools, which was right there.
In the room?
Yeah.
So his tools were back there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he hit KJ with the gun once.
Okay.
Before the hammer.
And what makes you think that?
I just remember that.
Okay. So you saw that?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay.
Do you remember where on his body?
No.
I guess I would ask what kind of, we're talking a shotgun, right? So it's got a stock and a barrel and everything. So when you think of hitting somebody with their
butt
gun
of
like the butt of it.
Yeah.
So like or maybe you could, I know you have the handcuffs on, maybe you could demonstrate that from him.
I don't know. Like took it and hit him. I'm guessing probably in the face with it.
Okay. And then after that, was the door open or closed?
Closed.
Okay, so when did you see him hit KJ with a hammer?
Somewhere within those hours.
Okay.
Like I said, obviously I was really high.
Okay.
I don't know, that's what I'm saying, I don't know. When I say tormenting, I mean like, he was just talking a lot. I don't know that,
Leroy was?
yeah,
Okay.
to KJ.
Do you recall what kind of things he was saying?
I think he was trying to get out of him that KJ was working with the feds.
Okay. So Leroy thought that KJ was working with the government or the police or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know we even discussed this a while back, but what made him think that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Leroy kept a whole life away from me. That I didn't know anything that didn't go on inside that house I didn't know about.
Alright, so now that we've gone through that, and I'm sorry I had to back up a little bit there, but now the sun is starting to come up and kids are waking up.
Getting
It's time for them.
close to waking up.
Okay,
I
so
walked back there and all I seen was KJ on the right side of my toilet, and Leroy had a wire wrapped around his neck and he was pulling on it from my fucking bathroom, like my shower. It was wrapped around the shower.
okay, so KJ is being pulled around the neck with this wire, and that wire is wrapped around the shower head, the shower curtain,
Shower door.
shower door. Okay. And I'm sorry, I don't remember what your shower looked like.
It was a sliding stand-up shower.
Okay, with a door, a
Yeah.
sliding door. Okay, so it's over the door. So at that point, did KJ look like he was still alive? No. Alright. And and I'm sorry, I know this is tough.
What made me think
What
that?
made you think he was dead? Or how did you know he
Because
was
clearly that's what Leroy wanted that night, was to kill him. And he let go of it.
the wire?
Yeah. And all I remember was he was crying.
Leroy was.
Yeah.
Did he say anything specific that you remember?
I don't remember.
But he was crying.
Yeah.
You'd mentioned that there was something over Karl's head, is that right?
At one point,
Okay, was it at this point?
I don't know, I remember, I'm pretty sure he was covered.
Covered with
Because
what?
I don't remember seeing his face, dude. I don't remember his face. I don't really want to remember the face.
Okay.
But I don't remember seeing his face.
Can you, and I know sometimes some of these questions seem silly, but I promise they're important. Can you describe the wire itself? I mean,
You know, like, people do wire jewelry
Yeah.
wrapping. I want to say it was kind of like that, but more for, like, some sort of work industry thing.
so maybe a little thicker?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you said KJ was on the ground of the bathroom and Leroy left for 2 days?
No, he made me push him with him. Because in my closet, which was right next to the bathroom, there was a cutout,
Right.
which led to underneath.
So that was that night, or that morning, that night?
That morning, night, yeah.
That you helped move him into,
Yeah.
okay. At that point, was Leroy still threatening you or
Yeah, he
anything?
told me that, in his words, we were gonna have fun if I didn't help him, which that
Where
was
did you
his.
take that to me?
He said that to me before. It's a sexual thing for forcing me to have sex with him.
Okay.
And he said I wasn't gonna like it. I remember him telling me that he was hurt me worse than he'd hurt me before. And I was scared. He just killed his best friend.
Casie goes on to describe acts done to her by both Leroy and other men in her life. which are too violent to show on camera. Eventually, she gives a final account of that night, ending with what she believes to be the cause of death.
Do you know, I know KJ and Leroy, you said, stole cars together.
They stole a lot of stuff together.
They stole a lot of stuff together, okay. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
I mean, Leroy told me that him and KJ robbed Big Five for all of their guns. I remember, obviously, cars, because he'd sit there and boast about how he just stole this car, or here, Casie, here's a touchscreen that's out of this stolen car. Like, he tried to bring me stuff. I don't know how he got it, but, like, I had a TV stand at one point. I had a water purifier. I don't know. I'm guessing any and every way to make a dime.
Did you ever hear of an incident where Leroy, or Karl for that matter, shot at anybody during one of the crimes they were committing?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you willing to talk about that?
I mean, I wouldn't mind so much if I could get something out of all of this. Which even then, I don't even really mind talking about it. He told me that he was trying to steal a car, and I'm guessing it's the exact case he's sitting on, and that's also why you're asking me. He told me he was trying to get a cat, or the car, I don't remember. And the old man came out, and I thought Leroy said that he shot like a warning shot off. And that the old man had one of his friends by the arm, and that's what Leroy was trying to do, was scare him by shooting the gun. I'm guessing this is the same case he's sitting on. I don't know.
Was the friend KJ? And honestly, what I'm just trying to do is, it just sounds like before all this, they were really good friends and they did all this stuff together. So I'm just trying to get...
KJ let us sleep at his house when I was pregnant with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
They were good friends from what I was told. They've been friends for 20 years.
Right.
And like KJ told me once, is that he was always fixing Leroy's fuck-ups.
Okay.
But that's the only incident, and I don't think it was KJ that they had. I think it was somebody else.
Oh, okay. I was going back to some of my notes from before. There was one thing specific, and I hate to come back to KJ being tied up and all that stuff with the thing around his neck, but he had something around his wrist. It was like a rope. Can you describe that?
I'm pretty sure that's what he was using to pull. Because he made me push and he was pulling with something.
Okay, when you say pull, what do you mean?
Pull his body.
Pull his body? Like to get under the crawl space?
Yeah.
Okay, but not for the hanging portion where he was hanging from the shower door?
No.
Okay. Do you know when KJ was drug under the crawl space, what was he wrapped in, or what was on him?
It was my cover to my bed. He put over him, if I'm correct.
I'm sorry?
They said it was the cover to my mattress he put over him.
Okay. The cover to your mattress. And,
Yeah.
and Leroy said he put it over him, or he did put it over him?
Yeah, he had it laying on the ground.
When you say cover to your mattress, can you just, I mean, that can be a lot of different things.
It was a white cover that you zip up to keep the mattress clean.
Okay, it's not like a comforter, like a zipped up.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear, what you would put on your mattress before you put on sheets and things like that. Is that
Yes.
that's what we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. In this you may not know the answer to. What do you think it was that killed KJ?
Strangulation.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was sitting there pulling on something that was attached to his neck.
Okay. So you think he was alive before that?
Yeah.
Even with being hit with the
Yeah.
mallet,
Mallet,
gun and
whatever
mallet.
it was, yeah.
Okay. What would you be basing that on, just for the purpose of our
From what I've
understanding?
seen,
Okay, can you
the
elaborate?
wire was wrapped from Leroy's hand. He was holding it, was wrapped around my shower and went to KJ's neck.
And was KJ moving at some
No.
point? Okay. All I'm trying to understand.
Why do you think he was alive before then, though?
Okay.
Because he was alive when I left the room.
Which room? The bedroom?
The bedroom? Because I walked out. Walked out because it was getting, I didn't want to see, I didn't want to witness any of this. I didn't want any of this to be going on.
Crawford pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 30 years in prison. The judge ordered his sentence to run consecutively with a separate 16-year term for an earlier aggravated robbery. Casie Bock pleaded guilty to being an accessory to a crime and received a deferred judgment in 2023. She claimed she was forced to help move KJ's body after finding him dead. There was no trial or testimony, just a plea and a sentence. And in the end, it was a grieving mother left with more questions than answers. Her only child was buried beneath a condominium floor, and the man responsible will spend decades behind bars. But the full truth of what happened that night, how much pain was inflicted, how long it lasted, and who all was involved, may never be fully known. For Kyla Duberstein, justice will never bring her son back. And for Casie Bock, silence bought her time, but not peace. What she witnessed, what she hid, and what she became a part of, that doesn't disappear with a plea deal.